All right, let's play Canyon West in Weatherford, Texas. Driving range. Lots of room out here. There's putting greens. Hole 1, Canyon West. Here we are, gold tees, hole 1, Canyon West. It's about 370 to the flag. You get trees on the right, bunker on the left, plays about 218 to that bunker. Out of bounds here on the left. Keep it in the center. You can go right if you need to, long over those trees, you got room. Other than that, stay in the middle. All right, here we are on the blue tees. Hole 1, Canyon West, plays about 335 from here to the flag. About 200 yards to that bunker. Little tree trouble on the right, but you can go long over those. Out of bounds on the left, right past that fence line. Stay center. And here we are at the white tees, hole 1. About 315 to the flag. And you're looking at about 175 to that left side bunker. Straight line shot in to the fairway, greens. Curve around to the left a little bit around this tree. Out of bounds on the left. Little tree trouble on the right, but these guys are pretty much your line. Okay, here we are, hole 1, red tees, Canyon West. Plays about 290 to the flag. You're looking at about 150, 160 to the bunker on the left. Out of bounds on the left. Lots of tree trouble here on the right. Just stay middle. These guys are your line to the green. Here's a look in from 100 out to the green here at hole 1. Got a blue flag, a back pin placement. Little trouble on the left with the bunker. No trouble really on the right. Just a lot of hills. Going long, you're into some trees. So the miss here is short or right. Here we have hole 1. All right, here we have the green on hole 1, 30 yards front to back. And it slopes from back to front on this one, headed down towards the fairway. Got a little hill up here by the left side bunker. It kind of slopes back to the middle a little bit. Back side of the green slopes downward. And the ball usually wants to go left to right. Here we are, hole 2. Okay, here we are at the blue box. All right, here we are, blue tee box, hole 2, 370 to the flag, about 210 to the bunker on the left. Same tree trouble. You got a little wider opening off the tee box here. Tree line to the right, don't miss there. And out of bounds, fence line to the left. You definitely don't want to miss there. This is a little tight fairway here. All right, hole 2, white tee box, about 355 to the flag, 190 to the left side fairway bunker here. Straight line shot in. Same troubles on the right with trees, same out of bounds trouble on the left. All right, red tee box here, hole 2, about 320, 155 to the bunker, 320 to that green area right here with the red flag today. Red tee box, wide open, fairway look. Still trouble on the right with trees and still out of bounds on the left. All right, here we are, hole 2. Here's a look in from about 130 out. Get a good look at the green area. Green side bunker on the right. Going long could roll out of bounds toward that house. You can see the slope here on the green. Good, looks a little right to left here. Long green. Lots of room to work with here. Not too much trouble. Front flag placement with the red flag today. So this one, if you want to miss a little short, it's okay. All right, here's a look at the hole 2 green. 36 yards front to back. Looks like it's a little longer than that, but that's what it says. You can kind of see flat on top, and then it slopes down on the back to front side, going back toward the fairway. Again, green side bunker on the right. Lots of green to work with here. A little backstop on the backside. All right, hole 3. There's a look at the map. Pretty straightforward. All right, hole 3, gold tees. We're looking at about 360 to the flag. You can see the flag poking up. Straight shot. About 195 fairway bunker here on the right. And your line for the best speed slot is going to be that tree on the right side of the fairway. All right, here we are, hole 3, blue tee box, about 340 from the flag, 170 to carry that bunker. Not too much tree trouble on the right. It opens up on the right side. Left side opens up, but there is out of bounds on the left side with backyard fence line. All right, hole 3, white tee box, 315 to the flag, 150 to carry that bunker. Little tree trouble on the right side. It opens up in this little area here. Left side, fence line out of bounds. And that tree right there is your line. All right, red tee box, hole 3, 290 to the flag, 120 to carry that bunker. Straight ahead, same troubles on the right and left. Wide open look at the fairway, and that tree again is your line. This tree here. All right, here we are, middle of the fairway on 3. You're looking at about 120 in. There's that tree we had as a line. It'll funnel back. There's hills right here at the right side. You hit that line, your ball will funnel back to the middle of the fairway. There is water to the left of this green, and a little bit of hills to the right. So if you're gonna miss on this one, you can go long back there. There's no danger back there. Wide left to right green, but short right miss, and these hills also funnel back down to the green. So if you miss right, it'll bring you back down in. All right, here's the greens on 3. 31 yards front to back. You can kind of see it angles from back to front. Kind of flattens out over there top left, but it wants to funnel back down here toward the water area. All right, here we are, hole 4, par 5, dog leg left. All right, here we are at the gold tee box, hole 4. This is a 440 hole roughly from this tee box, and we want to go about 270 up to the turn. Fairway bunker probably sitting around 260 right there in the center left. We got out of bounds on the left side, little tree trouble in the center, and this fence line here on the right, but that is not out of bounds, that is in play. And your line is that little electrical box right there straight ahead. Again, 270 is about as far as you want to go in this spot from this tee box. Okay, blue tee box, hole 4. We're about 400 to the flag on this hole, dog leg left. 220 or so to the bunker and the safe line. I'd say the bunker's about 210. And at the turn, maybe 220, 230. If you go beyond that, it's not danger. It's just hole 9 out there. It opens up beyond that, so go long, it's safe. Left out of bounds, right side in play. That fence line is not out of bounds. Okay, white tee box, hole 4, par 5. Got about 385 to the flag on this one. About 185, 190 to the turn left up top. Your bunker's gonna play about 180 here. Out of bounds left, tight window here on this one, on this tee box. These trees come into play a little bit. Again, wide open on the right side. That fence line is in play. Same line straight up to that electrical outlet box, and then that bunker right there in the middle. Okay, red tee box, hole 4, par 5, 360 to the flag. Tight window here. These trees are in play. They're in your way on your drive from this tee box, and that fence line is out of bounds left. So the red tee box is kind of the toughest one in my opinion. About 160. Carry that bunker, so you play at 170, get past it, stay on the right side a little bit of that bunker. That's pretty much your line straight ahead. All right, here we are at the turn of this dog leg. Bunker here on the left that we went past. We're about 250 out from the green. It kind of cascades downhill, and there is a creek running between the fairway and the green, and you're about 215, 220 from this fairway spot. Big ravine right there coming into play to the right side of the green. Bunker on the left, water on the left. So laying up is a good option, get you close into that green. Okay, so if you laid up, you're about 65, 70 from this point of the fairway, right before the creek, right before the rock bed here on the right, water on the left. So you have a good look into the green from this point. Again, a bunker on the left. You can kind of see that green, of course, is going to slant back to front toward this water. Maybe move a little right to left. But you got a wide open look to that green. And you can see to the right of it, if you miss right, it'll funnel back down in a few spots. Little backstop on the backside. All right, here's the hole 4 green. Greenside bunker on the left. Hills, rocks, creek on the right side. Plays about 33 yards back to front. You can see the slope comes back towards us, toward the creek. And it's going to move a little right to left. The blue flag back pin placement today. And that is hole 4 green. All right, here we are, hole 5. Par 4, number 1 handicap. All right, here we are, hole 5, par 4, 350 to the flag, about 175 to that bunker here on the right side. You got a little trouble left. It looks wide open. If you're short, you're good. If you go long, there's out of bounds. It just trickles down left out of bounds. Right up here beyond this fence line and the tree line, that's all in play. That is not out of bounds. Your line is going to be at that little tree right there. And then it turns right slightly to get to the green. Okay, blue tee box, hole 5, par 4. About 320 to the flag, around to the right side. Again, trouble to the left, about a 150-yard bunker up here to the right. Trees are in play up right, but it's tough to find it if you go up top. Long left is out of bounds. Again, this tree line here, that's your line. And then the green is slightly curved out to the right. Okay, white tee box, hole 5. About 300 yards out to the flag, 130 yards to carry that bunker. Same troubles on the right with the trees. That's in play up top. Long left is out of bounds. Wide open fairway. This little tree here is your line. Okay, red tee box, hole 5, par 4. 280 to the flag. Out to the right. 105 to carry this bunker. Fence line and tree line is not too much in play with this tee box. Left, long left out of bounds is in play. Your line is that little tree, and the green is going to branch off to the right, curve around this little hill area here. So this little tree is your line. All right, here we are at the turn in hole 5. Here's that little tree is the line. We're about 110 yards out to the flag. Red flag, front flag placement today on this green. Pretty flat green. There is water to the right. Don't miss right over that hill, big pond. Beyond that green and to the left of the green, it's sloping downhill and potentially rolling out of bounds. So you want to miss short. You got a little room here on the left to miss short or miss long right, but you can see where the water starts here on the right. All right, here we are at the green on hole 5, 20 yards from this vantage point back to front. Again, front flag placement from the fairway. You see how it moves off a little flat, but it wants to funnel back a little bit to the water here. You can see it's a back to front slight slope. Hills in this area here, kind of bring it back. Pretty flat to the left side of the green. And a nice waterfall. All right, here's hole 6, par 3. All right, hole 6, par 3. Here's the gold tee box. You're playing about 195 to the flag. Downhill, and the flag placement is on the left side today. Wide green, missing left. Long missing left is out of bounds. You can see the white stakes on that side. Just don't hit the cart path. Wide right, no problems. Hole 7's over there to protect you. Going along past this green is a little trouble. It's a little tough getting back up to the green because of the tree line that separates the downhill slope and the green. So missing short, no problems coming in if you are short. All right, blue tee box, hole 6, par 3. 155 yardage, but with a downhill slope. You could probably take off the club, but once you shoot it, you'll know. Into the wind today, so clubbing up could be an option. Again, trouble left, out of bounds if you go too far left. Lots of open space right if you miss, and short is good. Long, you don't want to go through those trees. It's trouble getting back up to the green if you go long. And that is the green look on hole 6. All right, white tee box, hole 6, par 3, about 130 yards in, downhill. Wide look at the green here. The wind is blowing in today, so even with the downhill slope, you gotta check your clubs for this hole. Lots of room to miss right, plenty of room to miss short. Left could get in trouble if it rolls down the hill on the cart path out of bounds left. That's it. All right, red tee box, hole 6, par 3, about 115 yards into that green. Wide right to left. Miss short is okay. Missing right is good. Missing left, you get into trouble. Possibly that downhill slope could run out of bounds left. Pretty much straightforward look. All right, here we go, hole 6. Here's the green, 24 yards front to back. It slopes down toward the front of the fairway, and it almost seems like it funnels all the balls back to the middle right here. You can kind of see a little undulation pushing down flat right side, but then it wants to come down and funnel right down towards this area here from the top down. It wants to push everything down. The backside left looks like it wants to run off a little bit, but it's definitely a back to front slope. Okay, hole 7, par 4, straight uphill, slightly uphill, straight line into the green. Okay, gold tee box, hole 7. Like I said, straight uphill, no bunkers on this hole. Green light, full send, all the way up to that rock wall. Not too much trouble on the right. Hole 6 is on the right side, so if you go over this hill, it's gonna slope down to either the green or the fairway. Left side, a little trouble. Lots of room to work with though, this fairway here. You go to the top of that hill, if it slopes down, that is out of bounds. The residential fence line is all out of bounds on the left side. So you want to stay middle right. Blue tee box, hole 7, about 318 up to the flag. Uphill slightly, and you can see the flag waving just beyond that tree and before that little stone wall. Straight line to it, full gas, full send, let it rip. Safe on the right side. That's hole 6 over there, plenty of room to miss. Left side, you run out of room real quick. Over these hills, all the residential fence line is all OB. All right, white tee box, hole 7, 300 to the flag, just up to that stone wall. Like I said, let it rip. You got hills funneling in and right. You got lots of fairway out here in the open. You can miss right and be okay. Like I said, hole 6 out that way. Residential fence line, all OB. Stay away from the left. And the red tee box, hole 7, about 270 up to the flag. Same with the rest of the other tee boxes. You got plenty of room right to miss. Cart path help if you can hit it. Wide open green, and trouble left with the residential fence line, all OB. All right, here's a look from about 90, 95 out. Blue flag today, so a back pin placement. Stone wall right behind the green. You don't want to miss left over that stone wall. It slopes downhill, potentially out of bounds. Left over here, out of bounds if it rolls down that hill. You got room right to miss. Just left of that cart path, it'll slope down onto the green if you can hit it high enough up that way. Little rock bed over here. All right, here's hole 7 green, 23 yards front to back. Back pin placement today. The greens funnel from back to front, and you can really see this hill here. If you're on the front side of this green, you got to putt it up this hill and it'll break a little bit left. And if you're on top of that hill, be careful putting back as it'll run all the way back. Hole 8, par 3. Hole 8, par 3. It's playing about 170 in yardage. Depending on the wind, you can shoot your rangefinder at it and see how many clubs difference that you need to go from here. We're way here up high. It's definitely a big downhill shot. Lots of green to work with from left to right. Pretty thin coming back to front. And you can see there is a bunker here right in the center and a couple of bunkers on your left. You don't want to miss long into the trees because it'll be gone. All right, hole 8, par 3, blue tee box. About 150 in yardage from this vantage point. Could be 1 to 2 clubs drop depending on your rangefinder with the slope and with the wind. So just measure it that day. Bunker in the middle. You can see the green left to right, very long. Lots of room to miss left to right. Couple bunkers on the left side. Long is bad. Left of that cart path is bad. It'll roll downhill. Potentially out of bounds, but definitely lots of tall grass and weeds back that way. Hole 8, par 3, white tee box, similar to the blues in distance. Again, your rangefinder will tell you 1 or 2 clubs difference depending on your slope and wind. Again, white tee box, 3 bunkers. Don't miss long. Okay, hole 8, red tee box, about 120 out to this green. Lots of room right and left. Bunker in play on the right side of that flag today. Sometimes the flag's on the right side. Bunkers on the left. Again, the only issue here is missing too long left or straight ahead. All right, here's the massive green for hole 8. About 25, 30 yards on this left side. You can kind of see it slopes from right to left and definitely back to front here. Just over this bunker in the middle of the green, it's about a 10-yard little strip from back to front. You can kind of see it's somewhat flat, and it wants to slope a little bit maybe from right to left, but it looks mostly flat. And this right side green, it slopes from the right to the left, kind of the back beyond that little hill. It wants to push right towards this bunker a little bit. And that front to back is about 30-35 yards. When the flag is on that side of the green, a little more room to work with, and those sides, that side of the green is a little faster than this side. Hole 9, par 5. All right, here we are, gold tee box, hole 9, par 5. Straight ahead shot about 540 to the green, just in front of that stone wall. Straight line shot, no bunkers. There is out of bounds left onto the driving range. And if you go right over these trees, hole 5 tee box, and beyond that is hole 4 green. So your line is dead ahead to the stone wall. All right, hole 9, par 5, blue tee box, 520 to the flag, straight out of bounds left, past these white stakes. In play here in the tree line, this brush here to the left is in play, not out of bounds. Just when you get to the driving range, that is out of bounds. Hole 4 and 5 to your right, just over this tree. Your straight line shot right here is this open fairway. Okay, white tee box, hole 9, par 5. You are 500 yards out from the green. Straight line shot, again out of bounds left into the driving range. This brush tree line here is in play, just tough to get out of, and massive tree on your right side. Beyond that tree is hole 5 tee boxes, and beyond that, around the corner, is the hole 4 green. Red tee box, hole 9, par 5. You're playing about 490 out, straight ahead to the flag. Left out of bounds markers right there on the driving range. Trees and brush to the left, which is in play, just tough to get out of. Big tree on the right side, should not be in play, but if you get it over that tree, there is hole 5 tee boxes, and beyond that, hole 4 green. All right, here we are on the fairway on 9. We're about 240, 245 out. Straight up the hill to the green. The only trouble you have is going to be left out of bounds. Right, you have hole 4. So you have plenty of room to miss right. It's about, like I said, 240 shot in. All right, here we are on 9, about 60 yards out from the green. Stone wall comes into play. You don't want to go too long, it'll bounce off that and ricochet who knows where. That's pretty much your only trouble. Missing short is okay. All right, hole 9 green. It's about 22 yards front to back. Plays pretty flat. It moves a little bit right to left, just depending on where you are. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward putt. Hole 10, par 4. All right, gold tees. Hole 10, par 4. Plays about 380. You can see the green way out there to the left, down the hill. There's a bunker. It's about 280 out, right there in front of the green. All right, blue tees, hole 10, par 4. About 365 to the green from here. You're looking at about a 250 bunker, straight in line with that green. Wide open fairway to the right side, pretty open left, except for this driving range out of bound markers that kind of sneak up on you up front. So you don't want to miss short left. Hole 10, white tee box, 340 to the flag, straight out left. About 240 to that bunker. between you and the green. Out of bounds left, right here up front. It's kind of sneaky. Water long to the right side of this fairway. Lots of room to miss out to the right side. Just don't go too long here or too long into the trees from the driver. All right, here's a red tee box for hole 10. You're about 310 straight out to the flag. About 220, carry that bunker straight ahead. Lots of room to miss right a little bit. You don't want to go too long, miss the direction into the trees, and out of bounds right here to the left side. All right, hole 10 fairway, about 120, 25 out. Straight in, look at the green. You got a little hills to the left. If you can get on top of those will funnel back down onto the green. Missing right, bad. It'll run down that hill, down onto the cart path, and straight into the creek. Anything right is gone. Long is tough, lots of trees back there. Gets messy. So your miss is miss left, miss short. Hole 10 green, 31 yards back to front or front to back. This is how it looks coming in from the fairway. Blue flag today, so back pin placement. It's fairly flat. It wants to run a little bit right to left. It's a little high point here, right in the middle, right side. Kind of brings everything back in a little bit this direction. Otherwise, it's pretty flat, just angling down from the top right corner, maybe coming back to the left side corner this way. Other than that, pretty fast, and that's it. Hole 11, par 4. All right, hole 11, gold tee box. We're about 350 yards out to the flag. About 260 to that bunker. That's pretty much where our turn is. We want to get to the right of that bunker and then turn into the flag. It's not a complete hard dog leg, but it just angles right. Your line can be between this little tree and that bunker. If you can get that straight ahead, you're good. Trouble left, fence is not out of play. It's in play if you can still play it back there. Right side, lots of trees, very dense. You don't want to miss right, and you don't want to miss too far left. Tight window here. Okay, blue tee box, hole 11. We're about 330 to the flag, and the flag is right around that corner. About 240 to that bunker on the left, and your line is going to be right over this little tree. If you can send your tee shot over that tree to the right of that bunker, you're in a good spot. You want to avoid right, that's all just tree. That ball is lost right. Too long left, that ball is lost. All right, white tee box, hole 11. 300 yards to the flag. 220 out from that bunker. You want to be just right of that bunker is your line. Between this little tree and that bunker is your line. Tree's right, that ball is gone. Tree's left. It's tough to hit out of, but it's in play. Okay, red tee box, hole 10, 300 yards into the flag. From this angle, you can see the green, and you're about 200 away from this bunker, which you can barely see on the left side. You have a wide open look at the fairway here. Stay away from the right side of these trees, and stay away from the left side of that residential fence line. That residential fence line is out of bounds, so keep it centered. All right, here we are in 11 after the turn. We're about 100 yards out or so. On the right side of these greens, you've got bunkers and water long right. If you're gonna miss this green, you wanna be short, you wanna be left. Long little left is okay. These hills will help funnel it back down into the green, and you should be good to go. Just avoid right. All right, here's a look at the greens on 11. 34 yards, front to back. Lots of movement. It looks flat, but it has a high point here on the right side, just in front of these bunkers, and it wants to come down. Slight back to front, and a slight hill on this left side, which brings it back down to the front. These greens on this hole are pretty fast. Not much room to work with right to left, but you do have long back to front. Hole 12, par 3 over water. All right, here's a tee box for hole 12, par 3 over water. This hole is playing from about 130 from this tee box. You can kind of see the green go right to left a little bit from this point. Wind's blowing in today. Trouble, of course, front, right. There are bunkers behind the green and more water. You can see a bunker sticking out here. Not a lot of room to miss, but there is a little bit of room. All right, hole 12, blue tee boxes, playing about 106 today. Trouble all around. Water long, water short, water right, water left. Bunkers behind the green. All right, white tee box on hole 12, playing about 95. Here's a shot into the green. Again, water right, water center, water front. Bunkers deep, water all around. And here are the red tee boxes on hole 12, par 3. About 85 yards out. Water all around and bunkers behind the green. All right, here's the green for hole 12. Front to back, 25 yards. Lots of room to work with right to left. And again, this green slopes right to left, coming back in toward the water. And that's the layout. All right, here we are at hole 13, par 4. Lots of water. All right, gold tee boxes, hole 13. Playing about 400 to the flag, straight ahead. We got lots of issues right, trees and water. Lots of trees left. And there is water up front about 290 in the fairway, straight ahead. So that is water in play up front, water in play to the right, trees to the left. All right, here we are at the blue tees, hole 13. Tight fairway, about 375 to the green, straight ahead. 270 to the edge of the water up front. Lots of water right, lots of trees left. Not a whole lot of area to miss. All right, white tee box, hole 13. 360 to the flag, 250 straight ahead to the water, just beyond that mower. Danger to the right, lots of water. Lots of trees to the left. Not a whole lot of room to miss. Keep it tight. Okay, red tee box, hole 13. We're looking at about 280 to the green, 170 to the edge of the water. Water comes into play up front to the left, trees to the left, and water to the right. All right, here we are about 130 out. Water up front, water to the left. Lots of room to miss on the right and short. All right, here's hole 13, green. 36 yards front to back. Not too wide right to left, but you can see it's gonna work its way down from back to front on a big slope coming down in this direction towards the water. Lots of water on this left side. Lots of crazy bounces if you hit these stones. You get to the top of the green, it kind of flattens out and it kind of just runs off the back left a little bit. High point here on this left side. And this green wants to run back to front all the way down back towards the fairway. Hole 14, par 5, dog leg right. Hole 14, par 5, gold tee box. About 510 to the hole and about 260 on this dog leg right. And the line is pretty much over that tractor mower. Tree trouble on the right, one tree here on the left. So tight fairway in the middle down there to get it to about 260 to the turn. All right, here's hole 14, blue tees. You're looking at about 475 to the flag, 225 to the turn, right beyond the cart. Your line is that house. Tree trouble on the right, out of bounds trouble on the left beyond the cart path. Again, about that house is your line. All right, here we are at the white tees, about 380 out from the flag. 190 to 200 to the turn. Your house is the line. Tree trouble on the right side, out of bounds on the left. A lot of open fairway to work with right here. Okay, hole 14, red tee box. About 160, 170 your line to get around this corner on this dog leg right. Lots of trees on the right side. That's your line pretty much. These windows on the house straight ahead. And out of bounds to the left. If you can stay out of the residential backyard, you should be good going straight. Added about 160, 170 straight ahead. Here's a look in, 14, about 230 out to the flag. You can see it this way. Little water trouble to the right, straight ahead if you go long. Other than that, wide open shot. All right, here we are looking into the green, about 80 yards out if you laid up. You can see the flag blowing. Red flag, front pin placement. You can miss left. Right is water and bunker. All right, here we are on the green on 14, about a 45-yard front to back. Bunker on the right. It wants to slope from back to front until you get on top. It levels off. It's definitely got a hard downhill slope. High point on the right side, top right side. Left to right, and then pretty straight. Here we are, hole 15, par 4. You see the hole kind of goes up to the left. Not a complete dog leg, but it does angle up left. Here we are at the gold tees on 15, 330 to the flag. You want to play it over this oak tree to about 260 in. So 260 is your line right there. Pretty much between these trees. You see where he's standing. Right between those, get you a good look at the fairway, and that's going to be about 260 up before you make that left turn. Trouble on the left side, trees, out of bounds left behind the fence line, and more trees way right, but you should have a good wide open look right over that tree. Here we are at the blue tee box on 15, about 340 to the flag. You want to go about 230 over this tree. If you can split these trees in the middle, give you a good look at the fairway, about 230, 240 out straight ahead. Again, tree trouble left, out of bounds left, this fence line. So you want to make sure you are right of that fence line, and you have a lot of open fairway to work with here. All right, here on the white tee box, we're about 340 out from the flag, 220 to the turn up here over the trees. You can split these trees in the middle, and it'll be 220 out, give you a good look at the green from that side. Just get past these trees. A lot of room to work with beyond that tree to the right side of the fairway. Again, out of bounds left, tree trouble left. All right, red tee box here on 15. It's about 310 out to the flag, 200 straight ahead between these tree lines here to get you onto the fairway with about 100, 110 looking in. So 200 is your line here. Not to go too deep into those trees. You do have a little tree trouble right on this side and one tree, big tree on the left side. So there's your line right there. All right, here we are on the fairway on hole 15, about 115 yards out. Get a good look at the green here. Bunker, green side on the left, tree on the right. Otherwise, you got a pretty good straight look at it. All right, here we are on the green on 15. We got about a 30-yard front to back. Tight, pretty tight right to left. You got that green side bunker here. Which secret here is you can putt out of that bunker, so you're good. You go in there, not too much stress. This green runs back to front, coming back down toward the fairway. Big slope right here. If you're on the back side of this green, it's going to come down. If you're on the front side, you got to putt it up pretty firm. You can see this green is a little under repair at the moment. But it does want to funnel from the back right corner down to the front left, back towards this direction. Hole 16, par 4. These yardages are a little off. We play one tee box up on this golf course. So the golds will be 420, blues 368, so on and so forth. It's a straight line shot with water to the right, fence line to the left. All right, hole 16, gold tee box. Got about 410 yards to the green, 315 to a fairway bunker up front left a little bit beyond the hills. There's stones here on the left side. Fence line to the left, that's out of bounds, that's residential backyard. And then just beyond that tree is water. Big body of water to the right side, so you want to stay middle left. You hit a speed slot up on this slope here, it'll run out toward the green pretty quick. All right, here we are at the blue tee box, hole 16. It's 360 out to the green from here, 270 to that fairway bunker on the left side. Again, water to the right side over that tree. Left side residential fence line is out of bounds. Speed slot is right toward these boulders that run on the left side. That little slant will push everything back down into the fairway, which will give you a good look from there. All right, white tee boxes here on 16. 320 out to the green, straight line shot, 230 to the bunker on the left. Big tree right in front of you right here. You want to stay left of that. Again, water on the other side of that tree. Left side residential fence line is all out of bounds. Stay in this line right here, straight up the flag. All right, here we are at the red tee box on hole 16, 300 to the flag. Real tight window here on this right side, big tree, about 210 out to that bunker on the left side up front. Water over this tree. Left side fence line, residential, out of bounds. You want to pretty much make these stones your line, and hopefully it'll run back down in the fairway right to the middle. All right, here's a look at the green from the middle of the fairway, about 120 out. You can see here's this bunker. Shouldn't be in play really from the drive or the approach. Pretty good clear look at the green. You can see it's flat. It runs down left to right for the most part, just a little bit. Tree trouble long right. Tree trouble very deep if you go really long. And a little bit of open area to the left, but it does have an out of bounds residential backyard there to the far left. So if you're gonna miss a little left, a little short, you're good. All right, here we are on green of 16. It's about a 30-yard front to back. Like I said, it's gonna slope a little bit left to right down this hill. Even though the water is way back there, it does want to slope toward that direction. Maybe down into that creek back there. But lots of green to work with, especially left to right. And again, it's going to run back towards the fairway and definitely down left to right. Hole 17, par 3, uphill. Gold tee box on hole 17, par 3, uphill. About 165 yards up. At least one club for the slope and maybe another depending on the wind. Lots of wind today, so maybe a 2-club day for me. Backyard trouble left, so you got an out of bounds left in residential backyard. You got trees to the right. And if you just miss slight left on the green, those hills around the green will bring it back. So that's a good miss. And there is a green side bunker on the right next to that green. All right, blue tee box to this par 3 17. About 135 to the middle of the green. Same troubles. Tree line right, far right, bunker just immediate right off the green. Left is residential backyard, fence out of bounds, and a tree there. It's just short left of that green. Shouldn't be in play, but if you go long here, take the hills, and it should funnel it right back into the green. All right, white tee box, here we go on hole 17, par 3, about 115 out. Uphill slope. You got a bunker here on the right side, tree line on the right side, and residential backyard on the left. That is OB. Go long and you're good, and then take those hills off to the left side. If you miss a little bit left, those hills will funnel the ball back into the green. All right, this is the green on 17, the par 3 green. It's got about a 30-yard front to back, but it does break off to the right and go downhill to the back right corner. Again, bunker here on the left. Anything close is going to run in. Right here is the high point, right in the middle. There's a spine right there that can come into play a lot depending on the pin placement. We got a front pin placement today, so anything landed up front today would be a good shot. Coming back, wants to run downhill. It wants to run from the middle down toward the front, back off into the fairway, back where it came from. Hole 18, par 5. The hole looks straight away, but you'll see once you get on the tee box, the trees make it look like it's just a completely different line. All right, here we are, hole 18, par 5. About 550 from the gold tips. Scary looking drive into these trees, but over those trees is open fairway. This tree is pretty much your line. If you can stay right of that tree, you are good. Residential backyard fence, out of bounds left. You want to avoid left. Anything to the right of this cart path is good. Anything too far right into this tree line is gone. So your middle is from this tree to about 30 to 40 yards or 50 yards maybe to the right. Here we are at the blue tee box, about 515 to the flag. No fairway bunkers to deal with, just trees. Over these trees is wide open fairway. This tree to the right of that front tree right here is your line, to the right side of it. That's where you want to stay. Too far right, you're in a bunch of trees. Too far left, you are out of bounds, residential backyard. You can still play off this area to the left of the cart path. You're good if you can keep it in bounds. But your target line is right side of this tree. Okay, white tee box, hole 18, par 5, about 490 to the flag. Your line is over these trees. It doesn't look very inviting, but that's your line. Pretty much the clubhouse. That's your target line. That'll put you right in the middle of the fairway. If you can stay there, you're good. Too far right, that ball's gone. Too far left, backyard out of bounds. But you got a lot of fairway to work with if you aim for that clubhouse. Okay, red tee boxes on hole 18, it's par 5. You're about 460 out to the green. You can kind of see where the green opens up now. Even past this tree line here on the right, it opens up even more so. So you got a good shot to get down there pretty far. Stay right of this tree line. Anything too far left is going to go out of bounds on that fence line. But to the right of this center tree is pretty much your line to get straight down into that fairway area. All right, here we are in the middle of the fairway. We're about 240 out to the green. You kind of see it slopes uphill. Get past this tree line to the right and it opens up over the top of that. This tree on the left side. It's pretty much helping you to prevent, if you hook anything, it's going to stop it from going out of bounds left. All that fence line is all OB. There's green side bunkers on the left and also green side bunkers on the right, and those are coming into play about 220-ish, 230-ish. All right, here we are. Hole 18, about 100 yards up to the green. It's going to go uphill. Again, bunker on the left, large bunker on the left, large bunker on the right. Those are right off of the green. So we have a white flag, so we're in the middle of the green today. All right, here's the green on 18, about 35 yards front to back. Bunker left, bunker right. It slopes from the top, right-hand side, cascades down left, and then funnels all back down to the front of the fairway through here. And wants to kick it out back to that fairway. There's a wide shot of the green. It's going to go a little bit right to left, and then definitely back to front. Hey, thanks for watching this round at Canyon West Golf Course in Weatherford, Texas. As you can see, the greens are a little bit rough, a little slow due to the Poana, but it's mid-April. It'll burn off come summertime. But they were moving pretty slow today. Normally they're pretty fast when it's smooth Bermuda, but today it was running pretty slow with the Poana buildup. If you guys have any questions about the course, or if you need suggestions that I could do better, if you would, like, subscribe, share. If anybody you know that's about to play a tournament out here, or they just want to come and try the course for the first time, just let someone know, and they can watch the video and see if it helps them in their game. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.